Good afternoon, everybody. I hear you thinking, why is he dressed up like a waiter? Has he just escaped from the catering service and landed here on stage? No. There is a kind of a team here on this presentation. I wanted to make it a bit more interesting, and you might recognize the team. I will follow through that specific team across the entire presentation, talking about the future of military operations, but also mainly about ground segment and ground segment technology. So, as with every good Bond team, you see the initial start, and you need to hum because I didn't bring the music, the tum 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 tum, and we'll start off with the presentation. So the key thing is that we brought all of our technology together and built some key elements and gadgets to make this mission successful. And basically, we have our own technology experts for that. So Bond has Q. We do have our own Q. We call him D or double D. It's for Dave Davis, not something else. Basically, what they have devised for us today to make this a successful mission, they have made a modem. And this modem is what we call the 450 MP. And I brought it here. So you see it's pretty small. It's pretty compact. You can touch it later at our booth. But this modem will guide us through the full process. So at every start of a mission, you need to have a couple of mission objectives. And here, indeed, we do have them that we need to clear. So there are a couple of objectives, some targets that we need to fulfill. So we need to increase the flexibility of operations. We need to make sure that we cover all types of terminals with this newer type of technology, introducing it into end-user terminals. Thirdly, of course, we need to connect to multi-orbit, and then it's all about security. We cannot forget about security. So I'll go across all of these items as they are the different mission objectives. So first, mission objective is really about flexibility. Flexibility, you can look at it in both ways. It's the flexibility of operation, but it's also the flexibility of how you implement technology on board of such kind of modems or on board of such kind of VSAT platforms. So that's why we introduced the concept of software-defined radio in order to, for example, cater for multiple waveforms on one single device. So that means that when you go into an operation and you need to connect to different networks or to different satellites, that you can still use either the iDirect waveform or your own sovereign waveform. So a second element, of course, in flexibility is the way you move around. And of course, you don't want to carry 20 modems, so you don't want to carry a lot of devices. You don't want to carry bulky devices. So that's why it became compact. And that's why size, weight, and power has become such an important aspect inside operations and when you introduce modems inside of terminals. So talking about terminals, we have all range of terminals, and we're very much aware of them. The majority of the terminals manufacturers have introduced our previous series of the iDirect modems, but are also adapting to this newer version, the 450 MP. So in order to cover terminals, one, that are flat panel parabolic, but also can be mounted on airborne land vehicle or naval systems. The next one, and probably that's the talk of the town, of the convention here, we talk about multi-orbit. So multi-orbit, and that was Geoffroy reference, it's about, indeed, delay, but it's not only about delay, it's so much more. So, and I recognize here three factors. One is about extending your connectivity. HEO is a good example to extend it towards polar regions. Secondly, it's about the capability to increase resiliency. So that means that basically you can switch between constellations. If one has a couple of problems or is congested, you can switch it to another frequency band or even another orbit or even another constellation. So, and thirdly, of course, yes, it's about power, it's about using smaller terminals, it's about throughput. Security is obviously key in operations. And you see a couple of acronyms listed here, but I prefer to talk about multi-layered security and resiliency. So basically, that encompasses two elements. First element is mainly about the orchestration of security technologies working together in order to build resiliency or to build a wall against all types of threats. So one single technology is not sufficient. You need to have all of them working together to have an end-to-end system that is fully secure. Secondly, it's about resiliency, and that's where you build multiple layers, where you have multiple, let's say, networks that you can connect to, where you have backup options. So that's where we introduce the PACE concept. And obviously, where you have capabilities that, again, you can address going to different multi-orbit capabilities or multiple constellations. So if we bring all of this together, and we've got our 450 MP here in support, obviously, first, we use it on our own platform, which is called Evolution Defense. So it's about security, flexibility, about that 450 MP that can be used on this platform, and a platform which is WGS certified, but can also be used on other military capabilities. But it's also about that asset that can be used for national waveforms, for national programs, but also for European programs. So, and here I'm talking obviously about EPW or IRIS². So I think we more or less covered all of the objectives during the last couple of slides. But there's one extra button that we have on our modem, one extra functionality. You know, when you're in operation and things go bad, you need to run, there is an extra button that you can push. So it will not do that, the modem, but it's just to give you the idea. It will erase all functionality, it will erase all data. So that means that you can abandon your systems without any problem, and that you indeed can erase all data and not leave it to the adversary. So basically, what I wanted to tell you in my not 15 minutes, I'm going way too quickly. Maybe it's good for the people here that I'm going more quickly than foreseen. But however, what I really wanted to show you here is mainly that we have a system in place, we have a modem in place that can cover flexibility, that can cover security, that can cover multi-orbits, that can cover national waveforms, right? So we have all of this in-house for current programs and for future programs. Now, I have a task for you, I have a mission for you, and it's basically about identifying our iDirect agents. So one thing I can do is give the picture, and then now it's up to you to find them, to trace them, to track them, and to talk to them. But I have already one here in the room. Maybe Dave Davis, I see. I think there is Greg as well. There is Kirsten, obviously. Maybe you can stand up, wave, and voila. So have a talk with them. We have just the booth outside there. So I hope you got my message. It's all about flexibility. It's all about security. It's all about multi-orbit and bringing capabilities today already, existing capabilities, and making sure that they can be deployed in your systems today. Thank you very much.